This is FYI News 13, brought to you by SSPTV and the Hazleton Standard Speaker.
For your information, I'm Ken Cara, and welcome to the first edition of FYI News 13. Let's jump into today's headlines, brought to you by FYI News 13 and the Hazleton Standard Speaker. A Carbon County man is headed to court in connection with a fatal accident last August. 47-year-old Richard Matzik of Nesquehoning faces 14 charges in connection with the crash that killed 2 people, including his fiancée. The accident also injured a third. District Judge Joseph Himanko bound Matzik over for trial. The accident happened in August when Matzik lost control and hit a tree. Shockwaves are being felt throughout the Hazleton area as news surfaced that United Rehabilitation Services, known as URS, is expected to close. URS is a nonprofit organization that helps people with learning disabilities. Employees received the news late last week. Later this week, FYI will talk about the proposed closure with a client of the facility. That's this week on FYI News 13. A first-of-its-kind evening meeting of the Mountain Council of Governments, or MCOG, will take place April 24th at Sand Springs in Butler Township. The special 6 p.m. gathering will allow elected officials to join the regular community representatives to discuss important issues. The 26-member municipalities save money and time through joint ventures. Meanwhile, Carbon County is looking to establish its own Council of Governments. A special meeting was held recently at the request of State Senator John Udechak. Thus far, 16 of 23 municipalities have expressed interest in establishing a Carbon County organization. And finally, the budget will be the topic of discussion this Wednesday night as the Hazleton Area School District's Education Finance Committee meets. The meeting is set for 6 p.m. in the Administration Building on West 23rd Street in Hazel Township. For breaking news, log on to our Facebook or Twitter pages. We'll give you those addresses in a moment. And you can read more about several of our headlines in today's Standard Speaker or on their website at standardspeaker.com. And here's what the Standard Speaker is working on for Tuesday's edition. A local man facing homicide by vehicle charges. The Standard Speaker has the full story from a hearing on Monday. Plus, they'll have an update on the status of United Rehabilitation Services in Hazleton. Our very first newsmaker on FYI is the incoming president of the Greater Hazleton Chamber of Commerce, Mary Malone. She sat down with our Lisa Sugart earlier today.
Thank you, Kenny. It is my pleasure to welcome our very first community newsmaker to FYI, and what more appropriate than the newly named president of the Greater Hazleton Chamber of Commerce, Mary Malone. Mary, first of all, congratulations on your new position. We're so happy for you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate from the brand new FYI team, so a lot of firsts in the room today.
Absolutely. Well, we thought we would have you on our very first debut show, that this would be a perfect match. And you're taking on a very important position in this community, in the whole Greater Hazleton area, as the successor to Donna Palermo, who has done a stellar job.
Well, thank you. And truly huge shoes to fill, but the great thing is that with Donna retiring, she's still part of the community, and with Donna and her dedication and her spirit, I'm sure that she'll be around for a while, that I can get her on the phone or use her as a mentor and friend that she's been for years.
What do you see as the foremost goal of the Greater Hazleton Chamber of Commerce?
It is the success of our members, which are the businesses, again, in the whole entire Greater Hazleton area. And so we've got fantastic, exciting things. Just like I said, FYI is one of them going on right here, kind of in the hub of the downtown, kind of the heartbeat and the pulse. But really, there are things going on, new businesses coming into the industrial parks, places opening up down in the valley, businesses expanding and things like that. So I think the Chamber's job is, again, the success of those businesses, offering them, whether it's information or networking, all of those kind of pieces. It's a transition time, I think, for the Greater Hazleton area, and obviously with the Chamber. So I have, I think, a lot of information, a lot of lessons to learn, but a fantastic board, a really seasoned staff, and some great volunteers who are dedicated, again, to the mission and the businesses in the Greater Hazleton area and the quality of life.
Anything you have on the front burner that you would like to address?
One of the things I probably learned best at the United Way is that those first couple of weeks is really to get out there and talk to folks, talk to some of the members, some other community leaders to find out. I guess I have one perspective, but as I learned before, when you take over the helm, it's a whole nother perspective and viewpoint, and to really use that time, those 2 weeks or so with Donna, to be able to pick her brain, and even the staff members one-on-one. Everyone has a different focus and a different key role, and that's what makes that team so strong there. So to really learn more about exactly what they do, and to get out there and talk to folks, because as you know, with FYI, our community and what's on their mind will be important too, as we set the stage and drive the future for the Chamber.
Again, Mary Malone, the soon-to-be President of the Greater Hazleton Chamber of Commerce. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you
Thank
so
you for
much.
being our first guest here on FYI. Reporting for FYI, I'm Lisa Sugart.
Thank you very much, Lisa. It's so nice to be working with you again. We will be growing together every day on FYI, so I'd like to introduce a segment we call From the Mayor's Desk. Now, each day we will highlight special happenings from communities in the FYI viewing area, and our very first From the Mayor's Desk comes from the City of Hazleton. A reminder that Hazleton City Council will meet tomorrow at 7 p.m. One item on the agenda, the appointment of Tom Pribula as the new city administrator. We want your feedback on FYI, and the best way to reach out to us is through social media. Let's be friends. This week, SSPTV is giving away $20 in cash on Tuesday and Friday. All you have to do is log on to Twitter on Tuesday and Facebook on Friday. See what we did there? Follow us and then retweet or repost our information about the contest. We will then pick a winner at random. We are going to keep doing these social media contests in the coming weeks with great prizes from local businesses. And remember to use our Facebook and Twitter pages for breaking news. There's way more information coming your way on FYI News 13, so stay tuned. We'll be right back.
This is FYI News 13, brought to you by SSPTV and the Hazleton Standard Speaker.
Well, thanks for joining us in your community today at Core Fitness. And you know, how many times do we say, I'm going to start a diet on Monday, I'm going to start eating right on a Monday? Well, now every Monday here on FYI, we are going to be discussing health and fitness here at Core Fitness, and we're with one of the owners, Christy Book, and she is going to talk about cardio today, right?
Yes, cardio today. First of all, Janine, I'd like to welcome you and welcome the viewers on behalf of my business partner, Kim Slesser, and myself. This is Core Fitness. We are Hazleton's women's only gym, and we're going to talk about cardio today. So one of the major problems in this country right now, the CDC estimates that 1/3 of all Americans are obese. That's a huge problem. And Pennsylvania alone is between the 20 to 30% range of obesity. One of the great ways to combat that is cardio exercise, which exercises both your lungs and your heart. So I'd like to go through a couple things with you on how to do it here or how to do it on your own.
And that's the neat thing about this, is you can do it on your own. You don't need a lot of equipment,
Right.
But if you do want that support, which is nice, you could come here to where you could feel comfortable because it is women only.
Exactly. And speaking of support, studies have also shown that women who work out together actually maintain their fitness levels longer. I like to avoid binge exercising, where you have a wedding to go to and you need to lose that weight, which is great, but fitness really does need to be part of your everyday life. In fact, I recommend that 3 to 4 times a week, minimum of 20 minutes of cardio exercise to see any sort of benefits from that.
All right, so without further ado, let's go through some of the equipment.
All right, well, behind us here we have an elliptical, and that is almost like a treadmill, except it's less stress on your knees and your ankle joints. So if you don't like the pounding, you can move to something like this. Moving on, we have some of the treadmills, and that's just like walking outside, and you can use those in different levels. You can go at a steady state for those 20 minutes, or you can change it as far as intensity goes, and that's what we like to call interval training. And if you're kind of stuck, we all know if we start to lose weight and then you just suddenly stop, that sort of interval training will get you past that plateau.
All right, so there are a lot of things that you can do. I know some people say 3 or 4 times a week. That's really, I don't know if I have the time. Well, you need to make the time for 20 minutes a day.
Yeah, absolutely. Make the time, and it's a lifelong thing. It's eating, it's diet, it's exercise, it's all of it. It just doesn't stop here in 20 minutes.
All right, and it's not just for cardio. We're going to talk about strength training next week. Again, it's a new segment here on FYI News 13. Join us every Monday here at Core Fitness.
FYI, the movie playing in the background during In Your Community was Major League. Great movie. Well, it was a cold day in Hazleton as we turned to the weather, but there was a beautiful blue sky overhead. And say hi to our friends at the Standard Speaker before we move on to the extended forecast from the National Weather Service for Greater Hazleton. Hi, friends. And as you can see tonight, increasing clouds with the low around 18. Tuesday, scattered flurries before 10 a.m., then a chance of light snow, high near 31. Tuesday night, light snow is likely with a low around 19. Wednesday, scattered flurries before 7 a.m., then it will get up to 30 degrees, mostly sunny. Wednesday night, mostly clear with a low around 15. For Thursday, mostly sunny, near 42 is your high. Thursday night, mostly cloudy with a low around 31. Friday, showers are likely and it will be cloudy with a high near 54. And for Friday night, showers are likely, cloudy with a low around 41 degrees. How would you like to win a one-of-a-kind custom motorcycle that's worth about 45 grand and help a good cause? Just wait until you see the bike Death Row motorcycles made for Hazleton's chapter of Unico. We talked with Unico Hazleton President Angelo Porreca and Death Row owner Frank Stancato recently, and of course, we also checked out the bike.
As everyone's going to see, it turned out very well, and Frank went above and beyond, and we can't thank Frank and his guys at Death Row for everything they've done for us so far.
And Frank, when they come to you and the challenges of this, build many bikes obviously, but when they say we want an Italian bike and a Unico theme, what immediately are you thinking? And I know several maybe design changes as you're building it.
It's kind of good because I'm already Italian,
Right,
so I have the background of it. But I mean, the challenges were we did a Signature Series Vendetta bike, which is our top-of-the-line bike. And like I said, because it was for charity, we didn't stop. The bike usually would take us 2 or 3 months to build, but we kept on going and kept on going. And you know, we just wanted to make it really special for the people, you know, in the community. Because I did fund the project, so you know, we want everybody involved. You know, we want bikers involved, but we want people in the community involved, so it helps everybody. So that's kind of where we you know came with this thing.
And what can we see on the bike? I know you mentioned 24 karat gold on there and everything. What are some of the features on the bike?
We did a lot of 24 karat gold plating. In the paint itself, we have 24 karat gold. We've done a lot of accent pieces. I mean, it is Italian based, but we did the colors so, you know, just a normal biker would, you know, enjoy it also. I mean, we didn't want to go over the top with just, you know, Italian based stuff, but we did a lot. You know, so
it's not red, white, and green. You know, from front.
I mean, but it is. But you know, because we wanted to make sure we knew where it was coming from and what it stood for and all the charities. Because I'm a Unican also, so where we're giving it to. You know, Forgotten Warriors. I mean, American Cancer Society, Helping Hands. All the places that we do give to. You know, we want them to enjoy the bike just as much.
And tell me about, I mean, truly generous. And I mean, I don't know how much you want to get in with it, you know, the value of this bike and that, but you guys give a lot to the community. Why is it so important to you to invest in something major like this?
Every year, Death Row tries to do something for the community, and I've been involved with American Cancer Society, American Red Cross. I was chairman for a couple terms there. I just was always into charity, and I think you have to give back to your community. If you don't give back, I think it's kind of a sad thing if you don't give back. So that's why I'm hoping a lot of people step up and help us out with this, so we could get a lot of money out to some people that really need it.
All right. And Angela, if you could just tell us ticket availability. Where can people go if they're interested in trying to win this bike?
Well, actually, they can come right here to Death Row Motorcycles, 327 North Hunter Highway, as well as next door at the Electric Frog Designs. Tickets can be purchased there. And ADL Notary in Hazleton, I believe that's on 19th Street in Hazleton, as well as you can go to www.drmshop.com and you can purchase tickets with a credit card there, as well as you can like Unico Hazleton on Facebook. And there is a link there to purchase tickets there.
FYI is all about our community, and we want to know what you or your groups are doing. Email me, Lisa, or Janine, it's just our name, at ssptv.com, or reach out to us on Facebook or Twitter to let us know what's going on. Tomorrow, there's a town hall meeting with State Representative Tara Toohill about area traffic congestion on Route 93 and Interstate 80 in Sugarloaf Township. Someone from PennDOT will be in attendance. It's at 6:30 p.m. at the Sugarloaf Fire Company. And for a full list of community events, go to our Facebook page, and there you can see the Facebook URL. Now it's time to take a look at the midday winning lottery numbers. The Daily 499, the Big Four 7235, Quinto 21855, Treasure Hunt 8, 19, 22, 23, 24. FYI News 13 will be right back.
This is FYI News 13, brought to you by SSPTV and the Hazleton Standard Speaker.
It's time for sports. Mickey Holland got to live out his dream of teaching and coaching basketball at Monomoy Area High School. His journey to winning over 600 games and touching even more lives has had many twists of fate.
School started in 1959-60, and Dave Linkhurst was the coach here. He was my coach, and I mean, we had a dynasty here in the 1960s. I think we won the first 9 years of Monomoy Area. I think we won 7 championships in those first 9 years. He stayed and left in 1970, and Stanley Orchard took over. So, yeah, I mean, this was a great program way before I came here. In fact, Monomoy City won a state championship back in 1922, and they had a legendary coach throughout the state. His name was Johnny L. Geppert. I think he had 800 and some wins. So my dad played for him. So I grew up with Johnny L. Geppert stories, and then I got in high school and I had Dave Linkhurst. So I was like playing for 2 giants. I mean, I grew up with 2 giants, you know, as far as area basketball was concerned. Second year, they moved me to freshman coach. Now this is pretty neat. The 2 freshman coaches back then, as I said, you'd have to be teachers, so they were looking for people. The 2 freshman coaches were myself and Joe Alansky, who went on to win 3 state championships as the girls' coach here. We were the coaches on paper of the team that would be the first really good team under Coach Bill Fazio. But that was on paper. The real head coach was Jim Rhodes, who was, you know, an old, you know, legendary football coach here who had become principal. In '79, I became the baseball coach, and I stayed as the baseball coach from '79 through the '84 season. But in the meantime, Charlie Ray became the head basketball coach, asked me if I'd come on his staff and be his assistant, which I'll be ever indebted to him for, to get me back on here. Then Charlie was promoted to principal of the elementary school in '82. So I became the head coach here in '82.
Now Holland announced his retirement after this past basketball season, and tomorrow he'll talk about, among other things, the rivalry between Shenandoah and Monomoy Area. Remember to check out our Facebook page for sports updates, and that is sports for tonight. Thanks for joining us. Mondays can be rough, but you can end them on a high note. Seafood night at Bottlenecks. Choose from crab, clam, shrimp, and lobster specials, such as their little neck clams in garlic butter, only $1.95 a dozen, or handmade crab cake platter for only $8.95.
Who was the last Major League Baseball player to complete a season with a batting average of .406 or higher? Hi, everybody, and welcome to Trivia Treats. I'll answer that question in a minute, but first, let's talk college basketball. On Friday, Duke was shocked by Mercer. Mother of God, I don't even think Mercer was picked to win on anyone's bracket. I didn't even know what state they were in. Now I know, Georgia, but I'm sorry, I'm a Duke fan. Anyway, exactly 50 years ago, from the same day they lost in 1964, UCLA subdued Duke 98-83 in the national championship game in Kansas City. The triumph completed a 30-0 season for the Bruins, and it was the first national championship for Coach John Wooden and UCLA. Also on this day, 40 years ago in 1974, Seattle Sonics guard downtown Freddie Brown scored 58 points in the game, which remained a single-game record during the years the franchise resided in Seattle from 1967 through 2008, 41 years ago. Now the answer to the question. No major league player has completed a season with a batting average of 400 or higher since Ted Williams batted 406 for the Red Sox in 1941. The closest anyone has come since is Tony Gwynn with a 394 in the strike-shortened season of 1994. George Brett has the highest average in a non-strike season since 1941 with a 390 average in 1980. It's unlikely anyone will best the modern era post-1900 record 424 average that Rogers Hornsby compiled with the Cardinals in 1924. Hornsby incredibly batted 402 over a period of 5 seasons from 1921 through 1925, a mark that will certainly stand for the rest of time. In 1922, Hornsby became the only major league player to bat 400 while hitting 40 or more home runs in one season. That year, the Rajah hit 401 with 42 homers. I always say never, but that will never happen again. A reminder of the Sweet 16, which will become the Final Four after next Sunday. Florida, Louisville, Michigan, San Diego State, Wisconsin, Dayton, Michigan State, UConn, Stanford, Kentucky, Iowa State, Tennessee, UCLA, Baylor, Virginia, and Arizona. My pick is gone. Wichita State, who were 35-0. They lost by 2. Have a good week. See you Friday. Till then, be a good sport and stay loose.
Good evening, everyone, and here's tonight's Talk of the Town report. First tonight, happy birthday to John Suda. This wish comes with love from all of your family and friends. Tonight, another announcement. The Good Shepherd Church in Drums will be holding a prayer service for the unborn on Tuesday, March 25th after the 8 a.m. Mass. For more information about this, please call 570-788-3271. And finally, Big Brothers Big Sisters will be holding the annual Bowl for Kids' Sake on March 29th at Bowl Arena in Hazleton. The event will be held from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. For more information, please call 1-800-955-4376 or visit www.bbbsnepa.org. That's tonight's Talk of the Town. News 13 would like to send sincere condolences to the family and friends of these recently departed. Carolyn Hyde of Cunningham. Funeral is Friday at 9:30 a.m. from the Harmon Funeral Home. Friends may call Thursday from 6 to 8 p.m. Pearl K. of Freeland. Funeral is Wednesday at 11 a.m. from the Cotterall Petrilli Funeral Home. Friends may call Tuesday from 7 to 9 p.m. Suzanne C. Gates of Whitehaven. Mass is Thursday at 9 a.m. in the St. Patrick's Church. Friends may call Thursday from 8 to 9 a.m. The McNulty Funeral Home is in charge of arrangements. Alice Jane Van Blargen of Rock Glen. Funeral is Wednesday at 11 a.m. from the Harmon Funeral Home. Friends may call Wednesday from 10 to 11 a.m. Barbara J. Colmere of Mary D. The David D. Jarrett Funeral Home is in charge of arrangements. Alfred B. Danko of Freeland. Arrangements are under the direction of the Frank J. Bonin Funeral Home. Donna Mihalik of Hazleton. Arrangements will be announced by the John J. Pustai Funeral Home. And Joyce E. Turk of Hazleton. Arrangements will be announced by the Frank J. Bonin Funeral Home. Tonight's obituaries have been brought to you by the Smilax Floral Shop located on 15th Street in Hazleton. Palm Cross is now on sale for April 13th. Call 570-454-0111. Attention pay-per-view subscribers, if you see your name right now in News 13, you'll have 13 minutes to call in and win a free movie from Service Electric Cablevision. Our winner tonight is George Miller of Cunningham. George, if you're watching, give us a call right now, 570-459-9813 to win your free movie.
Remember to pick up the standard speaker for all your local news and headlines. Remember to stay tuned to SSPTV for great local programming throughout the night. Well, that's it for the first edition of FYI News 13. And remember, we want to hear from you. Send us your comments and ideas on our Facebook page or Twitter page. And remember, this is your town. This is your show. We'll see you tomorrow.